last week. What did I miss last week?
We were catching with the bonding curve maths and seeing how it was working with the current code. We were with one of the issues, the issue that we are burning before we are calculating. And it is still not really clear, but we at least have some more idea of how to test it at least. So yeah, I think that this was the update of last week.
Okay.
The idea was to continue working with the bonding curve this week, but because the second vote didn't go through, I have been improving some parts of the EVM Crispr in order to test that everything, a third vote is going to go through. That, let's say. So I think that it's one of the things that I can show today.
Okay. Excellent. Sounds good. Maybe we should. So we're getting close to the. Here, I'll go. Turn on my camera. Let's see if my bandwidth can stand it. All right. So we can do. Hello. All right. Oh, nice. Faces. Everyone's got faces now. Let's see. Lisbon was great. Lots of people talking about DAOs now. Finally. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's it. Let's just do status updates. So bonding curve math, still picking up the actual math side of it this week some.
I am worried because for the 5th, I don't think that we will be able to have the Commons upgrade with the changes that require the dual token governance. I think that it will not be wise to add in all of these in just 2 weeks. So I would like to discuss it with Griff as well.
I see. Okay.
It doesn't look like it's wise to add all of the changes. Hello, Griff.
Hi, Griff.
Hey guys, sorry, trying to hack on a params thing last minute here.
Gotcha.
We were talking about maybe we were very much into the width. Do you want to start with a question of the week?
Oh yes, of course. Sorry, I'm out of my element, so I'm not. Yeah. Let's see. Does anyone have a good opening question?
What would you name your pet?
It's a good one.
Have or had one? I can start with that. My dog's name is Skid, because when they gave it to me, he already was named. But I tried to rename him Fritz, like Fritz Lang, the Austrian film director. But he didn't get it, so he stayed as Skid. I'll pass it to Brett.
All right. I think if I had I would get a yellow lab and name him Bruce. I don't know why. It's just like a good dog name in English anyway. And intentions for this week: keep us moving towards the goal here, and distractions. I'm in beautiful Lisbon. and I was at Rave until the early morning last night. Yeah. I'll pass it to Nugget.
Yeah, well, I don't have any pets of my own, but my family has two cats. One is called Tiffany, and the other one is called Mu because she's very, very small. So like the microbe. And if I had a cat, I think I'd call it Nemo because I like the name. I think it fits. And yeah, intentions just sync up. Everything's going, and distractions. I'm kind of unfocused, but it's fine. And I'll pass to Sam.
My family had a pet. It was called Ney, but we didn't have any other pet. I have not a pet of my own. The only pet that I could consider a pet is kefir, a glass of kefir that has its own life, and you have to keep feeding it all the time, and in some way the kefir is part of you because it goes into you and it is living there. So there is a kind of symbiosis with the kefir. I think that the kefir also is trying to in some way reproduce itself through this process of feeding people, and at the same time when it is growing enough, share it with other people. There is this community of kefir sharing, but I think that it would be very weird to put a name to a glass of kefir, so I never did that. I don't know. I don't have any good names. And intentions for the call, I would like to share the latest things with the EVM Crispr. There is a lot of people who is asking me about Crispr, and I know that the intentions of this week was to work on the bonding curve, but because this vote didn't pass through, I just focused on testing that everything is going to go well, and it's better now. So this is one of the things that I want to share, and we can continue then with the bonding curve. I will pass it to Septi.
I'm very distracted. I'm on another call right now with Fabio, trying to give him access to our domain service. But at least we got the CNAME figured out, so config.tcommons.org is propagating, hopefully. And then I am, as far as what I name an animal, I don't know. Well, currently I have a dog named Maxie. It's Lauren's dog, but it's my dog these days too. So I like Maxie. I might go with something fun. I like Xerxes as a name. It has 2 X's in it. I think that's kind of fun, you know. But maybe it'd be hard for the dog to hear. I'm not sure. I imagine it would be a dog. I love dogs. And as far as intentions for the call, I definitely would like to hear what the outlook is on November 5th, being ready for a deployment. I mean, I feel like there'd be a lot of work. This will look like a lot of work this week to at least get a test deployment out, even in 10 days. So with the gardens and everything. And also like what if if the params dashboard is done early, it might be worth bringing in Pedro to help with some front end alongside Nuggin, and maybe that might add some support. Like to see, I know Sam said like, oh, I don't know if I want to onboard anyone, but Pedro's a rock star, you know. He might be able to just do front end stuff and like, or whatever it is that you think could be best be delegated. You know, I could score some resources to make it easier. Yep, I think that's about it, and yeah, that's cool. And Gardens onboarding has been working really cool. So I don't know if we want to talk about Gardens at all, but that might be worth discussing. And I guess I'll pass it to Paulo.
Thanks, Griff. Regarding the question, one name that I really liked for a pet will be Commodoro, which is like Commodore in English, the Navy rank. I just like that word a lot. And yeah, regarding the objectives for this meeting, I actually don't have any update. I'm still working on trying to understand the bonding curve before making any changes. And distractions, actually none for the moment. And yeah, I'll pass it to Mark.
Is that me? This Mark?
Yes.
The idea is a pet name,
Just
if you have one.
Griff, you're muted.
Intentions for the call.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I was just floating in here. I'm just new here. I'm super interested in gardens in the context of setting up SDG aligned sort of funding projects. I'm working with an Indian company, so yeah, I'm just really observing. So I will just take a bit of a back seat and listen to what's going on, but really interested in gardens and Hive and bonding curves and conviction voting and all that stuff, but coming from a newbie perspective. So I'll let you guys carry on.
Welcome, Mark. Will you pass it to somebody? I think Paolo
Okay.
or
Don't know who hasn't been, but Nuggin.
I was already, but I think we all went so far.
Zepti?
Yeah, Zepti was. I think
Okay.
I passed it to you, Bradley, and
All right, back to me then. Okay, let's see. Griff wants to share some garden stuff. He's not here. Sam wants to share several things, it sounds like, right? 2 things? Yeah, okay. Let's talk about the timeline when we get Griff's face back.
Okay, let's talk first about the updates on the new bot that we are going to do.
Yes.
Okay, I have been doing some testing. I think that it's worth to share the screen. Let me wait a sec. Okay, so I don't know if it is if you can see this properly. Oops. I never know how to close this part. Okay, so this is a test script in order to do some testings. In this part here, you can see the EVM script that we are going to send. One is adding transfer role into the voting application, and the other is transferring back 1,000 XDAIs, because it is what it costs the tollgate fee. And once this transfer role is added, then we will be able to execute vote 2 and then execute vote 1. So this is actually what was needed, the transfer role for the voting app. And in order to test all of this, this is very cool now because it's this can be reused many times. for any kind of voting application, what I am doing is impersonating the voting application, and for each of the actions, I am sending the transaction for each one of them. So there will be a transaction that is granting permissions, and there is going to be another one that is going to execute the transfer from the voting application itself. So we are not testing here if the voting application works, and we are not adding more time or whatever. It is just calling directly, execute this vote and see what happens. And after executing it, we can execute the other votes, and it works pretty well. And also the balances of the addresses are correct. So we just need these 2 lines in one vote, and I could be able to create the vote today, whenever you want. I don't know if Septi had any preference.
Yeah, no, actually, whatever is fine for you, I will just coordinate with Ivy and the computer, so we'll make sure that we fix this problem. Yeah.
Okay. I think that if we launch it today, because I don't remember if it's 4 days. It will be Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So they are very good days in order to launch this. And the new thing here is that we are using the voting app. We are impersonating it. So this works very well for any kind of thing, for any kind of forwarder. I think that this is the more general way to do that. It doesn't matter what you have. You can always impersonate the latest forward and go through all the actions that you are doing in one vote. So it is a very, very easy way to test that a vote is going to go through, if that makes sense. And the only thing that it's going to be a little bit more challenging is that you will need a fork of Hardhat, a fork of the network, in order to execute this. So we will need to think how to integrate it into the CRISPR, because you could be running it on your machine, or you could use Tenderly in order to create that. Maybe Pablo have some idea on how to use Tenderly for that. And we can just have a new button in the EVM Crispr frontend in order to test this vote before you really execute it. I don't know if Paulo wants to comment something.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Maybe I'm still researching on how to integrate Tenderly with Hardhat properly, because some of the methods that Hardhat offers you regarding the local blockchain are not supported, or I still don't know how to call them using the Tenderly local chain. But I think the idea will be using the simulations feature that Tenderly offers you. So I still have to check it out, but maybe the way to do this will be with Tenderly, yeah, integrated with the front end.
You said sometime that you cannot impersonate addresses, right? Tenderly?
Yeah, one of the problems that I had was basically that the function that you use in Hardhat, well, it doesn't work on Tenderly. So yeah, Tenderly offers you like a set of API, a set of RPC methods, but I still haven't found the impersonate address one. But I still need to check out the hard hat plugin code, because a lot of the stuff that you can do with Tenderly, it's not well documented yet. So you need to take a look at the code to see what you can do or not. But yeah, one of the problems was that. But one cool feature that Tenderly offers you is, for example, the mining blocks, for example. Doing that with hard hat, you have to call the function every time you want a block to be mined. But with Tenderly, you just call it once and that's all. So that's really cool, for example, for testing. It makes things a lot easier. For example, with apps like, I think, disputable voting that for example, works with the number of blocks instead of the timestamp for the vote.
It is Dandelion voting.
Dandelion.
So, for example, for testing this time, I first tried to do a loop in order to mine all the blocks of 1 week, but my computer was hitting, and it didn't work. It was not working. So I just did this other trick. If Tenderly is not working with other trick, I think that one other thing that we can do is to just provide a service that we create forks with hard hat on demand, and it doesn't look like it's going to take so much. It's like, okay, it's just try something, and we create a hard hat fork on our server, and it should work. And I think that it's
let me just say, I love paying for software. I love it. It's my favorite thing to do. So if Tenderly costs money, let's just go, and it saves time. Let's go with that.
Well, first of all, if Tenderly had this impersonate address, that will be probably a no-go. But since it's not free software and hard hat is, why not to go this other way, in which we do not depend on Tenderly for the CRISPR? I don't know, but we will see. If Tenderly has this impersonate address thing, then probably we go with Tenderly because it's already older. Well, I think that this topic is already finished. I will go with the topic on 5th of November. Remember. I think that we can still do it, but the extra thing of adding a dual token governance, I think that it will have to wait, because it's like something that we cannot add in just so short time, and I think that it's better to focus on having the bonding curve working very well, and do not mess with that up. I think that I don't know how this is going to affect the rest of the things. I don't know if you agree if it had some contingency plan, if that was going to happen. I mean, one of the things that
if the main thing is we would have to upgrade conviction voting, right?
In the future.
Yeah, in the future, we would just have to upgrade conviction voting to work with the 75% solution.
Okay, yeah, we have to think about how to make that.
I mean, wouldn't it just be like moving the money from the agent to a new conviction voting app? Like, it doesn't seem like it would be so insane. At least on the smart contract side, the front end and all that crap will be annoying, but, you know.
No, I think that conviction voting could have an update the tokens and the rest of the parameters. but I do not control I was not who deployed the conviction voting, so I don't know if we will be able to update it, or we will have to wait until Garden version 2, in which we are going to have this another contract for conviction voting. I think that this is an important discussion in the sense of, do we want to delay a little bit in order to have everything working, or or we delay everything a little bit, or we delay the addition of the dual voting, the dual token voting a lot, let's say.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with the dual token voting is like, would it just be a little bit or would it be a lot? Because like, I think the dual token voting app is like not developed at all, right?
Well, we need not. This is not a problem. I mean, it is. The contracts are already written. I showed them some weeks ago, but they are not tested and they are not integrated into the front end or anything else. So they are going to need, I think, 80% of the 70% of the work that we are in the 30% of the work, because it is not clear if they work perfectly or there are some issues that we didn't find yet. We have to test them, and then it's the integration into Gardens that is not that clear either. So it's clearly the thing that we already say that if we were scope creep, this will be out, but at the same time, it's something that it's better to do now than later, if the vote was going to pass, and at the end the vote did pass. So
for me, what's important is that we have the ability to launch, and then, until we do launch. So like, in my ideal world, at least for the TEC, we would have a demo without it, and we would have everything ready without it, and then who knows, we might have praise debates or something crazy, right? So like, it would be cool to continue after we have the demo and everything is working, and it's like, oh look, no, we can push a button and deploy. I mean, obviously a little bit more than that. But Daotoshi Nakamoto could push a button and deploy a new Gardens with a bonding, and then upgrade to a bonding curve with EVM Crispr, and have the whole. That's all tested and works without the 75%, and then maybe the params thing extends. Maybe and while that's happening, then we, until launch, we try. After we hit that milestone of like, yes, we will not have to delay the launch. And then, hey, while we're trying, maybe the TEC will vote to delay until, it's like, okay, we can launch, but we wouldn't have the 75%. We launch without it, and then here's the option, and then not, and we ask them what they think, But I think we need to be able to launch. There's already some like TE people who are like, hey, can we fund this? Can we fund that? Da, 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 da. And it's like, well, no, actually, we can't. And that's not the ideal.
yeah,
The
totally.
working groups need funding. Like, everybody needs funding.
Yeah, I think that the conviction voting should be out very soon.
Conviction voting too.
Conviction voting should be ready as soon as possible, but it's also I also have my own opinion on how the new tokens have been well, I don't know. but this is what the community has decided. Let's do this. Let's do first the most important and critical thing, that is, should be able to launch without the dual voting thing, and then if we are a little bit delayed with the dual voting, maybe we will see if people decide to launch without it.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we could actually get to the point where TEC is demoing the upgrade and playing with the bonding curve and everything's working. And then when those issues are gotten to like, these are like, all the critical issues are solved, everything's working, it's been tested with the community, then hopefully we could just like, until launch, we just see if we can get the dual voting in. That would be my ideal.
Okay, I also have to say that testing usually take a lot of time. Of course, we have to test everything, but I prefer testing ourselves than testing with the community.
Yeah, but we have to test with the community before the upgrade, right? We have to at least give them something to play with before we actually do the upgrade. Okay,
what I say is that I will not go crazy with the test like we do with the hatch, because it was removing a lot of time that was not all the time useful, let's say. So
totally.
I mean, we are,
yeah, exactly. But that feedback is also really valuable. So like, if we can maybe we'll end up catching some issue that we didn't notice because, Wonka got in there and was playing around, and then he couldn't do something that he needed to do. Especially around the permissions and such. It's such a mess, all the permissions.
Now, I don't know if you were at the beginning of the call. We have a tool that allows to test the execution of votes before they are complete. So it's going to be working much better now.
True.
I don't know if we had other topics to talk.
Well, so then to just solidify that topic, do you think that we can get the ABC fully tested and or like ready, and then the Gardens front end also able to work with RapDexDie before and have like something that we could deploy by November 5th?
At this point, I am scared of doing something wrong if we do it with not so much time. I cannot say that. I cannot say that we will be ready for November 5. Let's check again next week, I will say.
Okay, well then, is there anything that could be delegated, like to Pedro or Nugget, to like that might speed things up?
I am really concerned that something as simple as burning and minting tokens required three votes instead of one, and it's not because we did we were playing safe all the time. It was good, at least, but I don't want it to be repeated. I don't know how to delegate the the main things of the bonding curve or the dual voting governance. I don't know. The things that could be maybe delegated is the gardens frontend. But I also know that Paulo was so into it that maybe it's even faster if he does this part. I don't know if Paulo. Paulo?
Yes, there was a couple of another Sokai observations that if anyone wants to take a look and try to integrate it to the contract code, they can do it. So there's that. And
is there like an issue, or is there somewhere where we can? Because I don't actually know really what you're talking about.
Yeah, the notion that Sokai did, I had a local file with like check marks on every node that Sokai did, like stuff we need to add to the contract or modify. So maybe we can create a notion with all the tasks that we need to do, besides the cell problem that we were talking about last week. And
I can put those into GitHub as issues.
I think we say no because we didn't want. If I remember correctly, Griff, you didn't want to publish this on GitHub, but I'm not sure.
I think I was being careful because I wasn't sure if there was a bonding curve active, but there isn't, right? And I also don't think that there's no bonding, because we just need, if there is a Aragon bonding curve active, then we should go tell them these issues before we post on GitHub. But I don't think we ended up finding one. Nothing that I know of. I couldn't find one.
Okay. And then I can create the issues or for the things that we still need to do. For example, checking the pre-deposit case that Sokai was talking about, that apparently it's not necessary to implement stuff like that. So if people want to take a look at those, so we can speed the process, I think it will be great. So maybe we can I can create the issues and whoever wants to take a look, they can do it. And regarding in relation with the Gardens frontend, I don't know what were you saying, Sam?
I think that you are very familiar with it, and we need to add the option to see a conviction voting that which request token is another one, especially a stable token. In the case of stable tokens,
okay, it's regarding the double tokens.
Also, not the double tokens. The request token is XDAI, is wrap TextDAI.
Okay.
And it should appear in the gardens, but at the same time, we should disable the option of request a stable token because it's already a stable token.
Yeah.
You know that you can request or the garden token or a stable or the garden token in an stable amount.
Yeah.
Example 3,000.
Yeah. So it's removing that because we already have the garden token for us will be the stable token. So
I don't know if we should do it ourselves. I mean, would you like to read, Paulo?
Well, I wanted to continue with the sell by problem.
Okay.
So if anyone wants to take that, if not, I can do it. But I prefer to stay focused on the bonding curve thing that I was doing.
So what I heard was that the gardens front end might be something that we could find someone to take on as a task, and it's mostly front end.
Yeah.
But I will look into the people in gardens first, because they already know what they are doing. I mean, I will not ask somebody who didn't touch the honeypot, for example.
Okay. Well, we can ask. Well, who would you suggest that we ask?
Fabri, Rodri, Abby, anyone who is in gardens.
Okay. I can go to the gardens call. And is there is this specified or written down anywhere?
If it's not, I can write an issue.
It would be amazing to have an issue. I can go to the gardens call and start there.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great. I think that if we outsource this, it's going to be much better. But I didn't want to review a request. Yeah, it's better if they take care of this.
Okay. Do you want to make that issue in the gardens repo?
Yes, totally. It is.
Okay.
It could be. It should be there actually.
Just tag me in the issue, and then that way it'll be easy for me to see it.
Okay.
Thanks, Sam. That's huge. Okay, and then the other stuff is like the ABC stuff. There's some things that could be delegated there, and that would be mostly small smart contract changes, right? That Brett would end up reviewing.
Yeah,
I think that in that case we could keep working together in calls that joins together in order to have many eyes in the same thing at the same time.
So like during the hack sesh, maybe I just invite, because I know Vitor is interested in, so many people are interested in working with smart contracts that it would be like an honor for them, to like jump in and take on an issue. It's not like Nuggin, I bet you would want to take on some issues, right?
I have a question there because I'm not sure where is this taking place, because I kind of tried to join, I think, already twice, and then it wasn't happening, or there wasn't an open channel for it. I don't know if there's something.
We usually do it here.
Sorry, I couldn't get that.
We dropped it for a couple of weeks, but we will be back this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's here at this channel, or usually
should be this channel.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. That was.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm wondering if we can get together and do some of that hacking on the contract this Thursday. I may be able to complete. I was working on a different contract, but had a very similar issue to one of the things that Brett reported. The call issue. I may have solved it on something else. I may be able to solve that before Thursday, and then maybe Friday we can, since there'll be a few of us together in Barcelona, maybe Friday we can do some testing of like the broader system. Yeah? Okay. Nice. That's exciting. But yes, Nuggin, Thursday we'll be finishing off those GitHub issues, and then yeah, it'll be good. All right, I think that covers timeline for now. So we'll focus on just getting right to scope that we have already planned as quickly as possible, and tackle the additional token conviction voting if needed. And then I think Griff wanted to share something about gardens, or am I misremembering?
Yeah, I mean, I can just give a quick update that like Gardens has an onboarding app that's working pretty well actually, and we were able to almost deploy the Gardens. So it's like just some weird approved things at the very end, that I'm sure Gabby and the crew will fix now. But at least they're just, it seems like Gardens is set to have an explosion of users pretty close. Like it's about to be permissionless to deploy it. So, you know, documentation and it'd just be really cool to make sure that, you know, see if we can somehow make it also able for those, once those gardens go through the onboarding process, you know, that we make it so that they can upgrade to a commons if they'd like. And yeah, I mean, and just have that in mind, I guess, like whatever these EVM Crispr scripts are and whatever, like I would love to see eventually, you know, after the commons upgrade, oh, here's like, you know, go to this website and it's like maybe EVM Crispr / commons upgrade. And it just has the scripts preloaded to make the vote 1, vote 2, vote 3, you know, and it's just like click, click, click. But then when they go in, they're like, oh, I got to change this parameter. I got to change this parameter. It'll be some documentation and whatever. But, you know, the onboarding wizard is there, like is this close to being done for gardens. And then like, I guess we just need to do an onboarding wizard for a commons upgrade, right? So just having that in mind. Yeah.
Actually, the onboarding wizard can be a formulary like in the onboarding in Gardens. We don't need to have the script there. The script is for general purpose, but if we are very specific, if it's a commons upgrade, then we don't have to show the script. We just show the parameters or whatever.
Oh yeah, that would be cool. And then they just like put in their parameters that they choose, and it can be basic. Like it doesn't have to be the sexy, like, you know, oh, how do you design it? It really could just be entry points because we have the whole dashboard for the community voting on it, you know? So it could be a pretty simple solution.
It could actually be a button in the dashboard. You select the parameters in the dashboard and you press the 3 button.
That was always the dream, right?
Yeah.
So
it will be. It will not be difficult.
I think Septinai got a question. Now that you're going through that, it's just like a quick question. Regarding our listing in CoinGecko, should we go for infinite total supply?
Yeah, with the bonding curve it is. I mean, this is a future vote that I definitely want to discuss, of like being able to turn off the bonding curve at a certain point, you know, and just say, oh, hey, if we reach $70 million market cap, bonding curve stops issuing tokens. Like I feel like that's a feature that bonding curves should have, because bonding curves provide liquidity, infinite liquidity. But if you have a large enough market cap, you don't need it. You have liquidity, right? So, but that's not there yet. So I think we have to go with infinite liquidity.
Actually, it's not infinite because there is a certain amount of wrap text die. So if you specify which is that amount, then you will obtain which is the maximum.
Die can be infinite though, right?
Die it must have a total supply.
Well, I guess die's total supply exists in a moment, but it's like total circulating supply, right? It'll have a circulating supply, but its final supply is basically only limited by the assets that they choose to use to create it, right? So, are you talking about circulating supply, Chewy, or are you talking about
total supply?
Like, yeah, the total possible supply.
What was that, Septi? What was the number that we were looking for?
I mean, I think that it could be infinite, basically, but its circulating supply is right now less than 2 million.
Actually, what we have in one hive is that we put the total supply as the amount of honey that there are, And circulating supply is the amount of honey that is outside the funding pool. Probably we are doing that bad, wrong, but this is how we have it, and it probably could be the same for these, like the amount of. I'm not sure.
I mean, we could just say like 10 million or something. We could just say a number, like for a long time. If we say the max supply is 30 million tokens, or sorry, yeah, 30 million tokens, we probably will never hit 30 million tokens, and by then we should probably turn off the bonding curve. So if that's better, like in your context, I think that's also fine.
And also it's important to know which is the circulating supply, and we need a kind of API that is serving to CoinGecko that number. I don't know if you are familiar. It must be kind of something that the commentator that is saying to which is the amount of circulating tokens that there are.
Do you know what coin do?
Yeah, it's in the blockchain, but you need a website that is telling that in a standard way.
Yeah, Gardens already has something figured out, but I don't think it applies to the bonding cure. I'll send you a link, Sam. It's what Gabi and I sent the Deep DAO guys, just to see if maybe we could put together like a small checklist in case we're missing something for that.
Okay.
Is this another task that could be delegated?
No, I don't think that I don't think that this is priority right now. I mean, the priority thing is to launch the token, not to get listed in Coin. So, any last thought?
Well, I think we have a plan for the week. We'll see how much. Let's see. I just want to make triple sure, Paulo, you're planning to file those feedback from Brett in GitHub as issues, or should I do that?
I can do it.
Okay.
If you want.
Yeah, that's great.
I can do it just right after the call.
Okay, sounds good. By the way, I think I still have a PR open against the bonding curve too. Very, very small.
Yeah, it includes small changes.
Yeah, really tiny.
Yeah.
And then we can, anyone who feels comfortable can begin working on it, and then we'll have a hack session on Thursday evening, Europe time, to clean out the rest of the bonding curve issues. And then Friday we can do some testing, go to Rinkeby maybe or XDAI, whichever is the right one, and test the system. It's a good plan. Good plan for the week.
We will. I think that the last part of the week is going to be like crazy in the GitHub.
Yes. I hope so. Whoa! I'm going to a hacker house. I'm expecting to have my fingers bleed. Look forward to seeing you in person, Sam and Paolo. I think Paolo and Zepti said so too. So,
well, I think I'm not going to be there. I'm in Madrid right now, but yeah, I'll be there in spirit.
Okay, I'll be in Madrid on Sunday night. Anyway,
make sure you have a smoothie, Bradley.
A smoothie?
Yeah.
Okay.
You need
Yeah.
it's a requirement.
I'll make sure
Okay.
to get those.
Okay, excellent, excellent. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good day or evening.